Good evening. We're starting a minute early today, Will. For the
Ooh,
first time, we are on time.
wow.
Well, I shouldn't say on time, but every night's been God's timing. But for the first time, we are on at 7:30. God has allowed us to be on
Wow,
at
we are
7:30.
right on time, folks. Coming to you live.
You doing all right?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
That's good. How was work?
Work was, it was a little wild today at work.
Was
the
it?
kids were, I guess, just antsy to get on to vacation and all the.
Oh, are they not out yet?
Yeah, today was their last day. They was all just, you
Oh,
could
yeah.
feel the energy, ready for the break.
Yeah.
They was all just ready to go.
Oh,
None of
man.
them wanted to be there today. They're just like, none of them were having it. It was
Oh, no.
It was an entertaining day. I'll just say that.
I could imagine. Well, it's good to be here.
It is great to be in the Lord's house.
We've been, our household's been fighting some sickness, so I'm a little stopped up. As I don't know if you can tell or not, but ain't nothing gonna stop us from tonight. It's been quite the last few days, though. Honestly, man, you know. I don't know if it was, I don't know what's been going on, but God's been just making ways, man. Just tonight we're gonna talk about the importance of prayer and fasting, and months ago I was in this situation where I was praying and I was fasting and I was just trying to figure out, what God had in store. And the last few days, so Saturday we had an event come up in our personal life, and we were hurt by someone close to us. But instead of lashing out like the old me would have, I remembered what Pastor told us about their feelings being valid, and so even though they hurt our feelings, their feelings were also valid.
Yes.
But we ended up separating, and then so that was pretty hard. So then yesterday was my wife's birthday, and she drove me to work so that she can get her Scooter's coffee. And we get up there, and it drove fine to work. We get up there, so we swap seats. So she's at Scooter's, and she calls me and tells me that the car's acting up. Well, I'm initially just freaking out because financially it's been challenging.
Yeah.
We're catching up where we were lacking before. So we were catching up. And so she told me it was overheating. And I was like, what in the world? So then we look, and we realized there was a big old puddle out there where the car had sat, and then a trail leading as she was driving away. So it poured out all of the coolant. And so luckily, God put us in a position to where she literally was able to limp it back to she limped it back to the shop. And when she got back there, man, underneath was like gray smoke and black smoke. I don't know if you know much about cars, but neither one of them are good coming out of a vehicle.
No, you never want to see any smoke.
So, man, instantly I just felt little, man. I felt like this big. And so our mechanic looked at it, and he was like, yeah, it'll just be an easy part. So I started getting, my faith started building up again. I was like, okay, God's got this. And it was just some hoses. So some rubber housing that just got old and was brittle until we saw the price. And I was like, man. And I was like, well, it's just some rubber hosing, man. Can we not like duct tape it, Can we figure? So anyways, and God made a way for us to do that as well. But my favorite part was last night. So I was driving it home, and with our car, it's old enough that it doesn't make sense, but it's new enough that it has like special features that they were trying to try out. And so when certain things happen on the vehicle, it reduces the engine power to keep it from blowing
in
up.
limp mode.
Yeah. So last night it kept flashing reduced engine power, and I was like, man, I just gotta get it home. And I was like, Lord, let's go home. I know you got me. So I'm looking up at everything that could be wrong with the blah blah blah, and I'm seeing the dollar amounts just get higher of the each possibility that could be wrong with it.
Yes.
And I'm just like, okay, God, this is, last night I went to bed and I just prayed and I said, God, you're going to make a way. And so this morning I got my check, I got paid, and my check was actually like, man, it was way more than I was anticipating anyways. And I was like, okay, God, I see you already. And you already acting out. So then we get up to the mechanic and I was like, all right, man, lay it on me. What do you think it is? And he was like, well, it could be this, it could be this. And so everything I had looked up. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, all right. And I was like, God, it's in your hands. And I kid you not, he hooked up to it with his little scanner and cleared a code. That's all he did. And the car's fine now.
Just a needed reset
That's all I
after that
needed.
little.
It's all I needed
Yeah.
because it went into emergency mode, and so he had to take it out of emergency mode. But how many times in life does that happen to us? That
Yeah.
so God provided. He made a way where the car was at the shop for us. But then it was like a little test on the way home. Like, all right, are you gonna trust me? That this is okay. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, and I'm on my own toes about it. But sometimes we pray a prayer, God provides, and then what do? We go back to whatever we're doing.
Yep.
We don't give him thanks. We don't get back on our faces and pray for something else. It's the moment our need is met. Ooh, come on.
Yep.
The moment our need is met, we're done.
Yep.
We're out.
We're like, all right, we're free again.
And so last night I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh my.
God, I don't know if this is you. I don't know if this is the enemy trying to shake me. Let's just make it home. One step at a time. Let's make it home. And yeah, man, all he had to do was he had to make a connection, dude. That rocked me. Whenever I saw him plug it up and he was clicking through there, I instantly thought all it needed was a connection. And I was like, man, how many times, because that's what prayer and fasting is.
Yes.
It's a connection directly to God.
Yes.
And I was like, that's all it needed a direct connection to
Yep.
clear out some things, Will.
Needed
You
to
need
get
to clear
plugged in.
something. Yep.
Gotta
Get plugged
get
in and get some things cleared out of there. Some things that popped up that didn't need to pop up, or that it went into defense mode.
Yeah.
The car itself went into defense mode, and when we do too.
Yeah.
And sometimes we got to clear that out. Instead of being defensive, we got to just give it to God.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I needed to tell that because, man, I tell you, man, these last few
Delete
days
some flesh
rocked me.
modes coming out.
Yep. Because we've been doing some studying on prayer and fasting, and that's what it takes, man. That's what prayer and fasting is like you said, man, just plugging in.
Yes.
And that's what it is, man. Prayer is a direct line to God. Prayer is like, it's. There's an old song, Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. And man, it's so true, man. But anyways, I'm not going to take up much more time. I just wanted to give God the glory for that because, like I said, man, driving home last night, it was like probably 8 o'clock, and I was limping at home, and I was just like, man, because, financially, we were just like, how are we going to do this,
Yeah, because everything you look at when you Google up symptoms and problems is not cheap.
I'll
Never
tell you-
cheap.
I'll
It's
tell
never
you,
the
man.
cheap route. They're never like, oh, that just unplug the battery and plug it back in.
The cheapest thing I found was a $200 and something sensor. $200 and something sensor. About this big.
Ouch.
About this big.
Ouch.
That was the cheapest thing I found. So you can imagine. That was the cheapest thing I found. So you can imagine when I'm like, okay, and then like I said to start out, okay, and then like I said to start out this morning, my check this morning, my check was more than it was supposed to be. I don't even know why. It was more than it was supposed to be. I don't even know why, because I'm that guy that adds up. You know what I mean? Like I add,
Yeah.
and I.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong,
Track the
there's
hours.
faith, but there's also a time.
Waiting for live video signal. We're good.
Is it back?
It's loading. It'll keep. This is a good system. It'll keep recording.
Okay.
It'll keep recording.
But
It may not show it here.
yeah, cause it's not recording us on like. Yeah, cause it's not recording us on like the cameras aren't working. The cameras aren't working.
Yeah, waiting for there. It's buffering.
The devil don't want us talking about it.
Well, he don't want us getting.
I need to log
we're
out.
back.
Are we
We're
back?
Oh, it's buffering. Trying to block us. Are you reloading?
Yeah.
Not.
My wife said it's because I'm getting notifications, but I don't know how to turn on Do Not Disturb. All right.